Well, while we're stuck in the Guardians of the Rift for a while, I figured why not do an obligatory look at the Summer Summit. We're at the blog post. Looks like the first thing we have on the blog is going to be sailing. I've been keeping up with the tech demos as well as the blog posts they've been releasing, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be too bad of a skill. It basically feels like it'll be a combination of like construction and a new skill of exploration, and the voting for it is live now, so I'm wondering to see if this will pass. We'll find out. After sailing comes Vlore. I believe this is the area south of Corrend. Yep, south of the Mount Quidamortem, beyond the Stranglewood. We have a more in-depth blog. Looks like Vlore is going to be a Zaya Part 2. It's going to be split up into a few regions. A plains area, mountainous icelands, probably woodlands or grasslands, and an island. Oh, and another little, almost township-looking thing here. Looks like since it's not going to be perfectly connected, we'll probably be arriving here in the port and exploring the city first, and then you have all the extra stuff out and about. I think I might be most excited for the Hunters Guild, since they're gonna be taking inspiration from the Farming Guild with apparently set tiers and more advanced hunter stuff as you go into it. In the initial release they'll have 2 quests, one right before Vlore's release to give you a reason to travel there, and a second one to continue the story as we come, being novice level and intermediate. Help you build a better understanding of the region's story, sounds like a good enough reason for me. More quests cannot hurt. Especially from the team that's been releasing a lot of really good ones lately. I'd be more than happy for just plot. Fortis Coliseum seems like it's a new version of the Tassikal Trials or the Blue Inferno. It gets harder as you go on, and you can continue to either leave with your spoils or keep going on for the risk. Between waves you get to choose from a number of modifiers, so I'm going to assume that the modifiers you can choose from will be different each run, so that way it changes it slightly as you go through. Perilous Moons is an experienced quest that will be a Dwarven Town dungeon crawl. Pretty neat, looks like it'll be about a bunch of demi-bosses that we can defeat with loot, and it's inspired by the Barrows brothers. Your experience will focus more on discovery and exploration. So will that be partially kind of like Gauntlet or Dungeoneering mixed into there, or will it be kind of randomized each time we go in? I want to see more about this. Inspiration from the Farming Guild for the Hunter Guild. Level 40 to enter, but there's even more rewards the further you go. I'm curious if this sentence saying we'll gain XP and unlock new hunter methods as well as more what the guild has to offer. Does this mean it will come out with new hunter training methods, or is it just talking about the typical level up to unlock new content? Either way, I wouldn't mind a hunter guild. That sounds like it totally makes sense. And that's everything that we have for the Vlore so far. Don't let the Stranglewood hit you on the way out, so maybe we can walk here from just Mount Quidamortem through the Stranglewood. Skipping a bit further down, we have the Chambers of Zarek changes, and it looks like they've included the Path of Gluffery in here too. Coming from the perspective of somebody who has never done the Path of Gluffery, I would be more than happy to see it come. Again, more quests can only be better than less, especially if they're decent and backported and brought up to the standard of old school, with some polish to meet the standards of modern old school RuneScape. Yeah, exactly. In terms of Chambers of Zarek changes, they're talking about the topics of scouting and scaling, which I don't see why at this point we shouldn't just have that included with the raid. If you want to make it hard mode, feel free to make it hard mode. And all scouting will do is just save you a bit of time instead of jumping in and out. It seems like you're going to be able to purchase a layout with a new currency they'll introduce. Spending GP for reduced time scouting, decent trade-off, why not? And then we have Deadman Apocalypse. Deadman is not necessarily my kind of game mode, but happy to see it coming back. I'm excited to see what other content creators are able to bring about with this. I remember the main change that I heard about is they'll have randomly spawning world bosses or things like that, so it'll be quite an interesting couple of weeks. We have another speedrun cup, a plushie giveaway, and the main thing I was hoping for, Leagues 4. Not quite exactly as I was expecting it, but I'm happy to have a league rather than not getting one. So Leagues 4 is going to be Trailblazer with some changes. Looks like we get to have Corrend available as well this time. They're pointing out all of the new things that have been added since the last Trailblazers League. We're addressing a complaint from the last time Leagues 2 came around, with some of the tasks and the relics feeling really weird and a lot of FOMO, especially the people that did not choose Last Recall. I think I would be happy if we got to see some inspiration from Shattered Relics League as well, to where those point threshold choices that you make aren't necessarily permanent, in that you can change them out if you need be. But to still make it feel like a meaningful choice whenever you choose it, I would say we can use some of the league points that we're probably going to accrue throughout the league to pay to change your relics, as opposed to making it free. That way, if you make a mistake or want to change it up, you can later on, but you'll risk possibly unlocking new regions or content to be able to trade out a relic, or you'll be forced to be stuck with it as you're going through your regions and content until you get your extra points toward the end of the league to change it out to become overpowered. Could be good. Static rank thresholds, instead of being top 1% of dragon, top 60% steel, it looks like they're going to change it to just reach a certain level to be able to enter the cup. I don't see a problem with this. The trophies are just cosmetic anyway. More people are going to have the higher tiers. That's not an issue at all. More people will be able to get the higher tier trophies rather than only certain percentages of players. That also means that the accounts that have them won't be worth as much to be sold on the black market, so this all seems like smart changes overall. The rules look like they're going to be typical rules. From Trailblazer 2, you're area locked and unlock more as you go. It is Iron Man mode with higher experience rates, and we get the normal boosts of Druidic Ritual, ability to start on Draenor Rooftop, and Rune Mysteries completed at the beginning. So that's all standard League affairs. And we're also getting Lost City completed, again like previous leagues. This pretty much talks about how the tasks have been revamped again, and area specific will be obviously things that are within the area, as opposed to generic, which are things you can do anywhere or multiple places like the Mark of Grace. 7 relic tiers with a relic at each. Again, I think I might like the idea of being able to change them out, but I haven't seen anything like that, so it looks like they will be permanent choices again. Typical rewards so far, your trophy, the league shop rewards such as the banners and things. I like this because we're actually going to get another new teleport animation override, but I think this is the first time we're going to see a death and respawn animation change, and a new alchemy spell animation, an override for vengeance as well. Looks like the blowpipe finally gets a league skin, a new look for the rejuvenation pool, but I'm not actually seeing the overall house override, so it might just be only the pool this time, which is fine. Actually looking up at that, the home teleport animation scroll is what changes your home teleport animation. So the new teleport animation is actually for all of your teleports, or at least the little purple ball shrinking teleport, I'm assuming. That's cool. And an infernal override for the Din's Bulwark, inspired by Noise Rock back from his Reddit post, and I think it looks pretty good. And that's pretty much gonna be it for Leagues 4 at the moment. I want to see what the relics will be, if they're going to be completely changed or extremely similar, and I've already started theory crafting about what I want to do myself on Leagues 4. I'm assuming the overall player base is going to repeat a lot of what happened on Trailblazer the first time around, where we're going to choose Asgarnia, Mauritania, and I went with Prifddinas. But this time, depending on the starting location, I think the desert is going to be a must-have because of Tombs of Amasket giving you the Fang and the Shadow for melee and mage. And if you add on going to the God Wars dungeon, that will not only give you Mazori, but also Torva armor. I'm going to assume that Kourend will be cut into multiple locations. So the final location will probably be one of the places over in Kourend. And if it's not split up, that means it is guaranteed a must-have location because it will be so huge with so much content. Remember, Varlamore will not be included with Leagues 4 because that is coming after the league is concluded next year. Seems like that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the Summer Summit of 2023. I could say I'm looking forward to pretty much everything that they proposed during it, and if it's typical summit announcements, more than likely we're going to receive everything that they've announced. I guess my only real last curiosity is going to be, how is sailing going to feel once it's officially released? But I guess we won't know until we find out if it passes a poll or not, and if it does, once it actually comes out, how it'll change the overall game. But either way, I have trust in the current development team at Jagex, and we'll just have to see what the rest of this year as well as next year holds for us. I like where we've been going with Old School for the past couple of years, so we're looking forward to the next few. And as like normal, feel free to share your thoughts on the Summer Summit below as well. Have a good rest of the day, you guys.